Hey coaches, welcome to our tribe. I'm so excited for all of you to be joining us. I look forward to getting to know all of you better and just excited to watch you take on coaching and make it your own. I think that's something that you have to keep really close to your heart and your mind as you start to grow in this business. It can be whatever you want it to be. And for me, it's been such a gift and a way for me to really grow as a person, grow in my marriage, grow as a parent. And a lot of that comes down to this vital behavior of ours called personal development. Before I jump into that, I probably should introduce myself really quickly. My name is Megan Pope. I've been a coach for almost 3 years. I started coaching when I had 3 kids under 3, and the youngest was about 12 weeks old, and I just felt really stuck. I was grouchy. I was going through postpartum issues. I had been really active my whole life and was having a hard time finding my rhythm after my 3rd child was born. And the reason I'm giving you all this background is because personal development is really what not only got me out of my rut, but is what showed me that coaching and being a challenger can radically change people's lives. And it's because of the emphasis that we put on personal growth and development. It's something that we don't typically spend a lot of time talking about as a people. How do we learn to get better at our weaknesses? How do we learn to push through adversity and overcome challenges and have faith and in yourself? I don't mean it in a religious context necessarily, but I think that it's easy to want to run away and hide, and it's easy to just sidebar things that you're going through instead of really getting in there and experiencing it. And personal development is that gateway to really be your best self all of the time. And ultimately, at the end of the day, yes, we want people to be healthier and help them lose weight and be more active and be more fit, but we want them to be the best version of themselves. And you cannot do that without diving into personal development. It's hugely, hugely important. So I'm sure, as you know, one of our 4th behaviors is 10 minutes of personal development every single day. I can tell you that this behavior for me and for most people can be is the easiest to do, but it certainly gets overlooked the most. So what I want you to latch onto very early on and commit to is a minimum of 10 minutes of personal development every single day. And no matter how busy your life is, no matter what you have going on, I promise you there's a way that you can commit to this and that you can get it in. I'm going to share a couple tips with you. And then a couple of my favorite PD books and titles and whatnot. So if you don't have, there's multiple apps out there for streaming audio content. My favorite is an app that's owned by Amazon called Audible. It's a monthly subscription. It's not very expensive. And with that subscription, you get at least 1 credit a month, and 1 credit typically equals 1 book. It comes with a 30-day free trial, so at the very least, and that comes with a free download. Okay, so at the very least, you can get your first book for free, and you can also be the recipient of 1 book for free. So I have my challengers download Audible, I have my coaches download Audible, and I know at the very worst case scenario, they're going to have access to 2 free books that is really going to help get them on their way. I find myself listening to audio content all throughout the day, but the times that makes most sense for me and that have the biggest impact on my business are in the morning when I'm getting ready. If I've showered, then when I'm putting my makeup on, brushing my teeth, getting dressed for the day, I am listening to Audible. I'm listening to audiobooks. When I'm in the car or if I'm commuting and I'm on a train headed into work, pop my headphones in and listen to Audible. You can easily knock out 10 minutes a day. You can probably do much more than that. So that's a really, really fantastic resource. If you are a traditional paper person, obviously reading books is a fantastic way to get that in. And if you're reading a hard copy book, what I tend to recommend is either shoot for 10 minutes a day or 10 pages a day, whichever is most effective or easier to track for you. I personally try to read a hard copy of a book for 10 minutes in the morning when I very first wake up before my workout, and 10 minutes at night before I go to bed. So I kind of like bookend my day with things that are going to be good for my mind, put me in a good place, start the day off right, and ease me into sleep with positivity and things that are stimulating my brain as I go to sleep, okay? Some of my very favorite books, before I get there, another recommendation is podcast. If you have an Apple phone, the iTunes or the podcast on Apple, that's a free app that comes with your phone. And there are so many amazing, amazing free podcasts. Some of my favorite are called Your Virtual Upline. The Chalene Show. Sorry, I'm trying to think of, why don't I pull this up instead of just stammer? Okay. So a couple very important podcasts are going to be Your Virtual Upline with Bob Heilig. That's one that's really geared towards network marketing or direct sales like we're doing. Another one that I love is called the Mind Your Business podcast. That is going to be on all things mindset related, and really working on how to grow your mindset as an entrepreneur, grow your belief in yourself, and consciously working on upping your energy in your mindset. Some of my other favorites are the Chalene Show that I mentioned, and then two very, very important ones. The Team Beachbody Coach podcast. That's a way that you're going to be able to access all of the National Wake Up Calls, and then the Shakeology podcast, okay? And that is a great resource for finding out more about Shakeology and getting really comfortable talking about it, and being able to speak with confidence about how to differentiate Shakeology versus other things on the market. So those are good ones to download. There are others out there, and if you ever have a question, just ask. We're happy to share that and talk that through. Some of my favorite books to get started with. I love an author named Jen Sincero. She has written the book You Are a Badass. It was the first personal development book I ever read, and really, really changed my life completely. As much as coaching did, reading You Are a Badass, I came in and read it. The first couple pages or so of it, I was still a challenger, and switched over to a coach while reading that book. It was fantastic. There's a book called The Slight Edge by Jeff Olson that I love. Brene Brown is a fantastic author. I think that the last thing that, I could rattle off every book that I've read and everything that I love, but it really comes down to selecting personal development that's specific to you. If you're reading something that you're already, there's a book out there that a lot of coaches like called Eat That Frog, and it's about getting up and doing the one thing that you hate doing first thing in the morning. That book didn't necessarily resonate with me because that isn't an area that I struggle necessarily. A lot of people love the book Miracle Morning. I like it a lot, but I'm a morning person. I've gotten into that routine, so that didn't really do it for me like it does for others. So you really need to identify where am I struggling when it comes to this business? Is it belief in myself? Is it fear of looking foolish? Is it what? There are areas that you're going to find challenging as you go down this road. So it's all about finding a book that resonates with you specifically and getting the most out of that, actively listening, hearing what is being said and then putting it into practice, not just checking it off your list that you have read a personal development book. Now what? You have to put it into practice. Okay. So I hope that's helpful. I'm excited to meet you guys. Welcome to our team. I know that you are going to have the best experience.